and welcome to yet another edition of Ask Miss Judes. I hope you're keeping well and you enjoy life as God gives it, and that you're becoming a more exciting, providing, joy bringing person in your home and your community. Because trust me, there is enough going on in the world. We do not want to be those who contribute to the heaviness or the unhappiness in the world. Today I thought I would, it's funny because I'm here saying, should I call it, was it an accident? Or should I say, do unto others as you have them do to you? Now, this second thing kind of sounds very like straightforward, and we know it. Unfortunately, we don't practice it. But I was thinking of an experience that we had a few years ago now when, and I want to situate this in a way that helps us understand that how we treat people can inform who those people will be and how they will treat other people. And I want us to look at this even from the home. So some people are really wonderful at being nice outside the home, but being very unfriendly or impatient with the people that they live with. So you find like you're almost dealing with multiple personalities. And in a situation in the diaspora where you know, for example, that your disposition at work could potentially inform your earning capacity, chances are you can't be nice outside. But if you're nice outside and you're not nice at home, what sense does it make? And I want us to look at this because when you hear of situations where there are conflicts, say within families among maybe a husband and a wife or parents and children, you're like, wow, this person is so nice outside. You'll be surprised that what you're seeing outside is not the real person. My question to you is, if you are able to put up this facade outside, why can't you let that just be your authentic self all the time? So the example I was going to use for how to use your experience to support other people was a few years ago. My son was involved in an accident. Accident, that's the word. He was hurt, and the young man in the other car was hurt as well. They were both taken to the hospital, treated. The insurance supported as much as they could. And then about maybe almost 2 years later, we were home and we got served. The young man and his parents had decided to sue us for the accident. Now, coming from a culture where when you recover from an accident, you're actually grateful that you're alive, to one where you're not being held huge sums of money. I'm not going to be specific. The case is all done now. That's why I can talk about it. And we went through like 3-4 years of going to court, stretching resources that we did not have. And all the time I kept saying, this was an accident and nobody died. And the other young man had been compensated by the insurance. You know, like, why are we doing this? Anyway, it drove us closer to God. And as a family, we really held together to walk through these years of challenge. Because, you may not know, I don't have capacity for stressors. So anyway, a few years after that, I was at work in a different city. And my husband and my children were in a different city. And about, it must have been like 6:45 one morning, I got a call that my daughter had been knocked down. She was crossing the road. She had the right of way. The driver was coming, didn't look, turned right and knocked her down. And of course I wasn't there, but both my sons were called to the accident scene. They took photos and they were just comforting their sister. And my oldest son, who had been the one who was sued the first accident, observed that the woman who had hit his sister was wailing. He said to me later, Mommy, I knew she was afraid we were going to come after her. But even without having the conversation, we had decided as a family that we're not going to make anybody go through the pain that we went through for years for something that ended up going nowhere because the insurance had already taken care of it anyway. So my son went to her, even without consulting any of us, and comforted her and said, I can assure you we're not coming after you. It was an accident, right? So if it's a situation maybe where the person was drunk or high on something, I will say, of course, let them pay because they consciously did something that put them in a position to jeopardize somebody else's safety. But if it was a genuine accident, luckily we had insurance that took care of the medicals. And while we're going through all of this, we got all kinds of advice. Oh, you should sue her. You could get money to pay for your daughter's med school. I was like, no, that's not the kind of money I want to use to pay for med school. I share it because we had been at the receiving end, we knew that we're not going to do that to somebody else. So if you have experienced joy, you want to multiply joy and give it to others. If you've experienced pain, I want you to put yourself back into that place and remember how you felt and be conscious to make a decision that you're not going to put somebody else through pain. I say this because even in relationships, we're seeing where a husband and a wife will intentionally put each other through pain just so they can feel that I've done this back to you. It makes no sense. If you don't enjoy pain, don't give it. If you enjoy joy, multiply joy and share it. So I pray that if any one of you today is in a situation where you are struggling with a decision that you want to make, I want to ask you to go into the deepest recesses of your heart. Put yourself in the place of the other. And what you would want to be done to you is what I encourage you to do to others. Thanks for hanging out with me. I pray that this message will sink with you, that you will take the time to share it with anyone in your sphere of influence for whom you think this will be an encouragement, and keep those questions coming. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section. Alternatively, you can send an email to askmissjudes@gmail.com. askmissjudes@gmail.com. And as I was talking, a verse of scripture dropped in my spirit as Matthew 7:12, and Jesus was admonishing us to do unto others as we will have them do to us, and that was the basis of the entire law. So this is particularly of interest if you are a Christian or you're trying to live a Christian life. I want to remind you to always put yourself in the place of the other. How would you like to be treated so you can treat others the same way? God bless you. Take care. I'll come your way again real soon. And while you're watching this, I'm going to link this video, which I think will support you if this is something that you wanted to explore further or you found meaningful to you. Take care. I'll see you again real soon. Bye.